back to the YouTube channel Pro Enzo Vids, and this afternoon's video is my top 5 coaches that I believe could be a good sort of option for the New Zealand Kiwis going forward, because obviously their current coach, and more, I guess you can say former coach now, Michael Maguire, has I guess been stood down by the Kiwis, or been told to leave because of him taking up the role of the New South Wales Blues side. So he'll be the new Blues coach for Origin. So Kiwis now need to find a coach going forward for their international team. And thankfully for them, there's plenty of options. There's plenty of options they can go with. Even a Kiwi coach or an Aussie coach, like there's plenty of options. But at the end of the day, a coach is the coach. So whatever they choose, I'm sure will be a good option, and probably the right option too, you'd imagine. But see what happens. But before I go into the video furthermore, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Now, I'm currently, as we speak, 3 subs away from 3,800 subscribers. So yeah, I'm hoping to get there by hopefully at the end of this weekend at least. Like I'd say by at least Sunday I can get there. Friday today, Sunday I feel like I can get to 3,800 by then. So, but anyway, thank you for the new support as well. Do appreciate that a lot. And I appreciate all the support recently. But getting to my top 5, it's an interesting top 5 I've gone with, and I think most people will agree with it, I hope. But see what happens. But let's get into it. Number 5. Right, number 5, I've got Benji Marshall. So obviously Benji's a Kiwi great and also an NRL great, as we all probably should know by now. And yeah, like obviously Benji Marshall's probably one of the best ever Kiwi players to play the game, I'd say, because he rejuvenised the game with his side steps and stuff, and just changed the way the game was formatted out, I'd say. And but yeah, like as a coach, I mean, he's starting to be a head coach next year for the Tigers, and obviously a year early for him to start as head coach. But he has the opportunity to try and help this West Tigers team, get to some improvement next year. So see how he goes from there. But yeah, look, he's obviously had a bit of experience in terms of coaching. I mean, maybe while playing, he was a bit of a coach too, I guess. Probably, as he got older and while he was still playing, he was more of a mentor, I'd say, these days. But no, look, he's obviously, still, I think he's still a worthy option for the Kiwis. I think obviously the Kiwis may go with someone a bit more experienced and someone that knows what it takes to, I guess, be up for an international game and stuff. But I think Benji has a mentality, but I guess maybe just experience may not be on his side. But in terms of his passion for the Kiwi side, and in terms of being a good for the culture there, and the boys will live for him, I reckon that will happen. So you can go with Benji, but that's why he's number 5, because I think he's the least likely option out of the other 4 I've got. But that's who's number 5, Benji Marshall. Number 4, I've got Nathan Cayless, and obviously Nathan Cayless is a player that played a long time for the Kiwis from 1998 to 2008, and obviously had a stint at Parramatta, and I think somewhere else as well, I think. And obviously did a bit of coaching as well for the West Tigers last year. Don't know if he's still there or not, but he's done a bit of coaching already, I think, in some grades. But Nathan Cayless, yeah, he was a great player back in his day. He was the captain too, I believe, of the Kiwis in the early 2000s. And yeah, a bit like Benji, doesn't have a whole vast of experience in being like a coach, but obviously is a mentor type person, I think, still. And obviously it's been a few years since he's played in NRL. It's been a while, actually. But yeah, I think he's a good option for the Kiwis. He's obviously still fairly young for being a coach. Like, I think he, being the captain of the Kiwis, you have to think that he'd be some sort of consideration as well as being a coach and some grades and stuff. So I'd say that Nathan Cayless is a good option for the Kiwis if they want to go in that direction. But yeah, I think experience as well may have not been on his side. But I think he's obviously done a lot for that black and white jersey, and that's been proven. I'm sure all Kiwis fans would remember how much of an impact he had in that team, and obviously led them to that 2008 World Cup win, I think it was. So yeah, I guess that's up to the selectors to, I guess, see what they do there. But I'd say he's an option, Nathan Cayless. I'm sure that they would have his name written down somewhere. So that's who's in number 4, Nathan Cayless. In number 3, I've got Stacey Jones, the current New Zealand Warriors assistant coach and also a Kiwi great back in the day when he was playing. Yeah, look, the great man himself, Stacey Jones, I think he's a great option for the Kiwis. He's had a bit of coaching experience. I mean, he was the interim coach last year for the Warriors when Nathan Brown, the former coach there, got sacked mid-year in 2022. And yeah, I think he did a good job during that time where they went and had to stay in Australia and they were away from New Zealand because of COVID and all the other restrictions back then. And yeah, he took charge of the Warriors team for a bit there, and I think he did a fairly good job for the time he was there as head coach. But look, he's always been a respected player, and always a player that was always good back in his day. Like, I think for the Kiwis, he had a big impact there. Probably one of the greatest Kiwi halfbacks to ever play, and potentially one of the greatest ever Kiwis to ever play NRL too. And yeah, I think he's already working in the Kiwi staff. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone, but I think he's already working in a role there somewhere, but he may not be. But I think either way, you'd think that someone at his caliber would be considered for the Kiwis job going forward, I feel like, because, as I said, he's a legend of the game, legend for the Warriors and the Kiwis. And yeah, he's done a lot for that international team. So I think he's a great option for the Kiwis. And if they went with him, I wouldn't say that's a bad call either, because I think that's a good call. They made him the head coach. But yeah, it depends really. I guess it's a tough one in the end. But look, Stacey Jones, I think a lot of people would support that call for sure if he became the coach. And yeah, I think he's always been considered the Kiwi coach from ages back too, I remember seeing. So could it be this time around he actually does become the coach? I don't know. Have to wait and see. But yeah, Stacey Jones would be number 3 for me. Number 2, I've got a former coach who coached the Kiwis a long time ago, and obviously stopped that role once he joined the Warriors in 2017. And he's won a international, I guess, international sort of comp back in 2008 with Wayne Bennett. Wayne was the coach, but this guy was the assistant, and that's Stephen Kearney. So I reckon Stephen Kearney is a great option for the Kiwis again. I know some people may not agree with that. Some people will be like, oh, look, Stephen Kearney's another David Kidwell and whatever, but I don't think he is really. Like, I know Kidwell wasn't the greatest for the Kiwis, but I think Stephen Kearney's had a bit more achievements there, you think. Playing-wise was good there, and I think also coaching, he's been there for a long time, and Kiwis have had a lot of good success under Kearney, under his watch, whether he was a head coach or assistant with Wayne. Yeah, I guess he'd understand the culture too, as he's a Kiwi himself, so he'd know what it takes and how things should work there. And obviously he's coached an assistant before, so and he's experienced too. So I mean, look, if they got him as coach, it wouldn't be a bad option. I think he'd be good in his second return there as the head coach of the Kiwis, but depends on what they want to do. If New Zealand want to go in a new direction and appoint someone completely new, or appoint someone that I guess has experience as a head coach, but as a head coach, but hasn't coached the Kiwis yet. So depends what they do there. But I think just looking back on it now, I think what he's done for the Kiwis, it's obviously worthy of something to be mentioned about and brought up upon when they do talk about who the new head coach will be. So yeah, I think Kearney is in the box seat to be the new Kiwis coach yet again. And once I saw Madge was, I guess, told to leave by the New Zealand Rugby League board, the first thought I had to my mind was that Stephen Kearney would be the next coach. But will he be the next coach? Have to wait and see. But I'd say he's a strong option for that Kiwis job. So yeah, that's my number 2 there, Stephen Kearney. Right, and number 1 now. And number 1, it is the great man himself. He's been literally everywhere in the rugby league circle. He's been coaching England to Australia to Queensland clubs, New South Wales clubs. He's been coaching even overseas in England. He's been everywhere, as I said. He's obviously done a lot for the game, and he'll be forever known as immortal, I'd say. He's done a lot for the game. And that's why I think this man will be highly considered for the Kiwis job again. And I reckon Wayne Bennett is the one that will get the coaching role in the end there. Because I don't know if anyone's seen this today, but I think Wayne Bennett spoke to the Daily Telegraph, and he revealed that he would be open to being the New Zealand coach again, because he literally said this. There you go. So obviously he's open to being the coach again, and obviously he's pointing out that he's not retired yet, and I think he has an ambition to still be coaching somewhere. I mean, I know maybe next year is his last year at the Dolphins coaching, and then he moves on somewhere else. And I know there's been talk that if PNG come in, they want him to be the coach and whatever, or they want, I don't know. I think a lot of clubs would want Wayne Bennett in some sort of capacity somewhere, even when Bennett has another break year, I think he'd, still coach. That's the thing. That's what his effort is as a person himself, to be really dedicated to coaching still, even if he, doesn't get a full-time job anytime soon after the Dolphins job's over. So, because I do believe after 2024, that'll be Wayne's last year unless things change. But, I think thinking about it now and how he said he's open to coaching the Kiwis again, that rings a bell for me and says that, I think he'll get the job, I reckon, because some selectors will see that, what he said today, Wayne Bennett, and they'll probably be like, oh, look, Wayne's keen, Wayne wants to come back, he wants to yet again work with us, and looking at how this guy's gone in the history of rugby league, you'd be crazy not to consider him. So, I think Wayne's a real option for the New Zealand Kiwis going forward, and don't be shocked if it happens, I reckon. But that's my top 5 candidates for the New Zealand Kiwis job for the near future. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, what you think about my list right there. But obviously not everyone's going to agree, but I'd say that's my best 5 I can think of. But thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. 3 subs away from 3,800 subscribers, so please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. But thank you for watching. Have a good weekend, everyone.